So as always, you will get a copy of the audio when it's all complete. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. And welcome to tonight's class. So some of you have been with us for quite a while. You're almost at the halfway point of your class. This is so crazy. We went into everything from our personal angel, our magical power, our numbers. Now we're going into connecting with numbers. Today I want to take you into animal spirits because that's huge. And I hope you've been connecting with the wind and paying attention to what wind you're experiencing when you step out or go for your walks, because the wind is what is of power right now. The winds of change. We need all the recognition of that wind. That's the other thing is when we are recognizing signs, when we're looking for them, we get out of trying to seek recognition for ourselves. And some of you were at the full moon last night and would have learned that this month is all about intention. And yet we are meant to rise and create. We're also supposed to connect to that power naturally. And this is also the time where ego is in play. We're all experiencing change. So it's so important to just stay with yourself, and when you are experiencing stress or you're dealing with someone else's energy or whatever comes up, you trust that that is your path. There's something to recognize and connect. It's not here to distract you. It's here to show you something. So trust everything that arises. So with that, I want to take you further on your path and talk about all of the different animals and all of the different types of animal guides there is. Birds are active. They're the first signs that start coming when spring is arising. So you want to pay attention. So our nature is connected to different elements. And as we know, each element represents a different aspect of our life. So if we are experiencing earth element creatures, you're going to see a lot of four-legged creatures. Every time your eyes catch one, even if you're scrolling online and you see an animal, those are all signs. Take them as signs. So the four-legged creatures represent the earth element. So when we see a deer or a moose or even a rabbit, all of those represent symbols and messages and medicine that the universe wants to bring into our life to affect our physical world. So that represents medicine that has to do with our health or our wealth or how and what the spirit is trying to bring into your life. So when you're driving down the road and there's 3 deer, those 3 deer represent medicine for 3 people. Okay? Who's in the car? Or how many people do you have in your family? And if it's you, a lot of times it will represent you and 2 other people that you're carrying or caring about or influencing. And we know that anything that flies in the air, and that's my favorite. I love the birds. I have to say they're my favorite. Represents our future. So when we see the crows and we see the eagles and we see the dragonflies and the butterflies, anything that is airborne represents the future. And that medicine is blessing our path and where we're headed. So birds to me are so magical. The other thing that's really cool is we also have 2-legged creatures that don't fly, right? That are part of the earth. We also have the reptiles or the snakes, and a lot of the bugs will represent the fire element. Actually, a lot more too. We have fox. So we'll get into a lot of these animals and what they mean later on. But they always represent things that are affecting our passion and our purpose. Remember, the fire element is all about our finding and connecting to our true potential and what it is that we're meant to be working on. So when we do see certain things in the flames of our fire, or I don't know, what would you call them? What's the word? Septarians, right? Like, you know, geckos, dragons, bearded dragons, reptiles. That's the word, duh. So whenever we see something like that, they represent the medicine or the things that can or are influencing our passions. So the coyote, right, is also one of them. When a coyote comes around, it lets you know that there is someone watching you with, you know, something that they want to grab. So I'm really excited about teaching you all of this. And of course, the water elements, whenever we're by a creek or a lake or the ocean, there's water creatures around. And even though we may not see them all the time, they're there. So you are receiving that medicine. And that's why so many people are drawn to go by water during this time as well. Because there's hidden forces in the water. And we breathe that air and it becomes us. So to me, water is one of the most magical things. And through this month, while we're dealing with all of this stuff, it's really important that you drink lots of water. Start flooding yourself with water so that your body just keeps regenerating itself. Okay, and it's, you know, anti-age fighter. I used to have so much trouble drinking water. Oh my gosh. A lot of people that experience trauma have a tough time drinking water. So it's important to heal yourself. Keep drinking that water, keep forcing it until you like it. And that will also heal the trauma. So nature is one of the most powerful realms of magic and spirituality on our earth. And within it, there are life lessons and answers that we're seeking. Nature is one of the greatest guides when walking on the earth. And nature is speaking to us all the time. So be on the lookout for what nature is bringing to you. Make sure you take time to look outside and see what bird, right? We have a few different animal guides, and there's 5 different types, and they all have different powers. So everyone, most of you know I'm a half-breed, I'm part Native American, and we have totems, and it's actually called Dodems, D-O-D-E-M-S, not totems with a T. So Dodems are a natural object or spirit or animal that we feel closely associated with and whose phenomena and energy are related to us in some way. So I want to go into, I hope you can all use that chat, but if not, I'll just go over a little bit of it. So some of you may not know your animal totems yet, so I want to share that with you. Okay, so let's go to, and each one of these totems were important because they were what brought us our roles and our duties and the essence of our magic. So when I am with my tribe, when I'm out in the ebb and flow, and I'm with all of the Native people as a community, every clan has a power and a teaching. Okay, so let's see what yours is. So if you were born in January, your power is the goose. So write that down. And we'll go into what these powers actually mean. But it mainly represents conserving energy. Okay? And conserving certain lessons in life, teaching people how to conserve. And I want to get into the more of the totem meanings later on. Let's go to February is the otter. And then the otters know stuff. So otter's gift is the gift of knowing. And that is also their intuitive pathway. We have March, which is the wolf. And a lot of people know that to the native people, the wolf is very powerful. And it's because the wolf teaches us how to release. So if you're a wolf totem, then you have the power to release and teach people how to get out of something and move forward. April. Awesome. I got a goose. That's sweet. April represents the falcon. The falcon in the sky. So if you ever see that and it's April, then that represents your divine power connecting to the universe. And falcons are known as leaders. So falcons, I see someone might be a falcon. You're a born leader and you're meant to show people. Awesome. Wolf. Okay. I'm getting goosebumps. We got one of something different here showing up. So you're a natural born leader and you're meant to teach and show people the way. And that would represent what passion, what's your passion? May represents the beaver and learning how to obtain. Okay, so we are in April right now, and that means that falcon power, that sounded funny, the falcon power. Okay, either way. Represents the power of leadership, right? So right now in our life, we're all taking leadership with what we're being dealt with. When we get into next month, it represents the beaver, which is obtaining. So there's power behind the beavers. They teach how to manifest. So they should be, you know, quite gifted in the manifesting powers of ritual work, spells, focus. June represents the deer. And their power is uniting. So deer people are able to unite other people. They're good with relationships and even setting people up or understanding, uniting the power that we're trying to tap into. Okay. Yeah, there's more on the deer. And that's one of the reasons why the deer drum is super powerful. July represents the woodpecker. And woodpeckers and the animal totem behind those who are born in July are to show us how to open ourselves. Their power is the opening of what we need. So whatever it is that they're connected to and they naturally are drawn to, they're opening that portal. They're the opening. Salmons are August. So the power behind the salmon represents rulership. And they're the ones that'll make sure that, you know, things are right and people are following their own morals or the rules of the tribe or the community. They're also good decision makers. The bear is September. So the power of the bear, and it represents sorting things out. They have knowledge that can help people figure the things they need out and to get onto the right path. And a lot of chiefs become, they always wear that bear totem, because they can help sort people's crap out, or gain guidance. They'll give you guidance. October is Crow, and that is me, and is better known as the Raven Clan. And the power of the Crow represents partnership, and it represents connecting to each other. So they are a balancer within the roles of the man and the woman, or any type of business partnership. Anything that has to do with connecting and becoming a partner, even co-creating with certain elements and spirits. So crows, you're on my team. We also have November, which is the snake, fire element. And the power behind the snake, I love, is satisfaction. And the true lesson for the people was about what satisfaction is, how to attain it. What is the purpose of satisfaction and feeling satisfied? There's power there, because we all do seek our wholeness, and part of our wholeness represents our satisfaction. December is the owl, and the power behind the owl is understanding. So they are able to really see in between the lines. Okay? They can understand when guidance comes. They're able to see what that message is. They're good at putting the pieces of the puzzle together for other people. So I'm going to go into more. Nice, owl there. Awesome. So when you hear it, maybe you'll hear a barn owl. That's you receiving power. Okay. So I want to go into more of the totems in a little bit. I want to discuss animals, because some of you have dogs, and even the type of dog represents a certain medicine. Or maybe you have other animals. Maybe you always see something. Before I go on, I want to also go into, because we're talking about the totems, that the trees right now through the month of April is really important to listen to, because the trees whisper through the month of April to the May full moon. And so do the stones. So you could actually go to the beach and see what you're drawn to. And that color of the stone is giving you its medicine. But this is a time where the rock of ages and that spirit comes into our world. All the knowledge of what stepped foot, of what the earth has been keeping and transforming. So the animal messengers bring us medicine and communicate to us how they are helping and connecting us to our life. So as I said, there's 5 different types of animal totems. The first one is the messenger, or the message bringers. Okay. So every animal in nature is a message bringer. Their appearance brings guidance for our life. And the direction they gives us, the directions that they're bringing to us is for our situations, for choices that we're trying to make, for decisions and activities that we're involved in right now in the present. So if you're driving and you see the deer, that's for now. That's not for later. Their characteristics also provide the clues and the insights of what our behaviors and actions should be. Okay? When we have a problem, learn to ask the universe for guidance, and then see what animal or bird comes around. And that's how I want you to focus with the universe through this month, is through those powers. Okay. We also have the personal power animals. And the personal power animals, they're there through life. So that would represent the totems that I just discussed. The power of your totem is a personal power animal. So we can use that to go and do the things that we want. They're with us through our life. They never abandon us unless we are not aligned. So if we go too far off our path, they say that we will lose our spirit animal. And sometimes you have to go onto a vision quest to regain it, or you need to go for a walk and take the work to align yourself to see what comes around. So they bring us, there are protectors, there are healers, and there are teachers. Okay. We also have animal protectors. So the protectors come to us, they give us extra strength and energy, and they alert us to trouble and appear in dreams. Or they'll come when we're dealing with conflict to let us know what qualities that we are working with or against. And when they come to us, they're giving us energy so that we can win out our outcome. So some of those would represent, like I said before, the coyote or a rat. There's certain animals that let you know that you're experiencing energies from others. Okay, so if all of a sudden you have a mouse that comes into your house, that would represent a message that someone else is focusing and taking your power, or represents the person you're dealing with, the conflicting energy. We also have our animal teachers. So animal teachers represent what we're meant to teach. They teach us about our potential, about the energies that are in play, and about our spiritual path. And those who appear regularly, so the teachers are the ones that you see often. If you always see crows, those are teachers. If you always see deer, those are. So they want to tell us about our potential. They want to tell us about the energies that are at play. They want to tell us about our spiritual path. And they appear all the time, repetitive. Oh, I went for a trip and I saw a deer in 3 different states. Those who appear regularly have something special to teach us and something that we're meant to learn. So you really want to pay attention to the regular ones that you see often. Then we receive the healers. So we actually have spirit animal healers. And these bring us energies and knowledge in regards to healing ourselves. Or if we're concerned about someone and we're thinking about them, and all of a sudden that day a blue jay comes, that would represent the medicine and the energy they need for healing. And they provide us the best way to focus on the healing by the characteristics they bring, the sound that you may hear from them. And there's a lot of power behind that. So crows are super awesome because they represent, someone put there that crows are around constantly. So crows are magical protection. And so when you are connected to the occult, when you're connected to your spirituality, and if you're intuitive or practice magic, anything, you will always have crows that represent protection around you. And the number of crows always mean something. I always listen for the 3. If you get 3 calls, something good's coming your way. If you're driving and all of a sudden you see a raven coming and it turns to the right, that's a message that your path is about to change, go into a new direction. If it goes to the left, it's telling you you need to think about something to change your direction. So you always want to look at the direction of where these animals are, north, south, east, or west. Or if they're just sitting there on the side of the road and you're driving, you know you're safe. You're on the right path. So let's get into some of these meanings. What else? When I was a kid, I could see a spirit of a wolf. And then you saw him and knew not to go into the woods. Exactly. So when these animal totems that I was talking about earlier, a lot of them are shapeshifters. Okay, so I believe when I see the eagle, that is a spirit of a grandfather. They're aware of what I'm focusing on. They're helping. So it is very true. Wolves are known in the native way to be shapeshifters, and most wolves are an ancestor. Maybe you don't believe in Bigfoot, but the Bigfoot is a shapeshifter. And I used to actually live by a reservation called Sasquatch Reserve. And they believe in the Bigfoot. Whenever they'd go hunting, they would have an area that they'd go and put bones. Well, I was camping there on a full moon, and there was a ceremony, and you could just hear it all going on from the reserve. Well, it was late, so we went back to our tent, put our son into the tent to go to sleep. We get in, and all of a sudden we hear like 2 feet coming right at us. And I was like, oh my God. And I wanted to cover my son's head because I was scared that something was going to, like, you know, stomp on him. And this hairy thing just like went right across our tent. And all you could see was long hair. And I swear that was our Bigfoot experience. And they come out around the full moon, new moon and full moon. They're not always in and about. And people were frightened of the Bigfoot in the Sasquatch because they would actually kidnap men. They would never kidnap the women or children, but whenever a man went disappearing, they would say the Sasquatch got them. So it's pretty interesting. I definitely believe in Bigfoot. So a lot of our totem animals that I discussed also represent an ancestor. So whatever your totem is, when you see that, know the ancestor is bringing you that medicine. The other way that the tribes work is depending on the male in your family. So like my father, he's a bear. And because he's the ruler of our family, we would be called a bear clan. And his father was a fish, the salmon. So while he was the elder, we were the fish clan. So it always represented as well certain powers in your family because of the father or the grandfather. So it's kind of neat if you take a look at what they were. You will also know that you have those powers within you as well. Okay, so let's get into some of these meanings. So first you want to look for things that are very powerful and regular. Then you want to look at the odd ones. So the ones that just kind of come in as like all of a sudden I was just sitting there and a blue jay came up, or a dragonfly. Those are medicines. Those are the ones that you want to pay attention of, and you want to look them up and see what they mean, or listen to this. Or listen to this and put it down in your book of shadows or your journal. So I'm using my book here. It's so messy. I should have definitely put a bookmark in this where I was going. because I am trying to find some of my medicines. Okay, so let's see, what do we have? So let's first talk about some of the more common ones that we see often, and then we will discuss more specific ones that you may be curious about as well. Sorry, I gotta find this. Also, your Chinese horoscope, right? Those have animals in it. So those are good ones. Trying to find, okay. So let's go into some of these ones. So moose. So we have lots of moose, and it's another traditional animal. Yes, the Celtic animals too. They definitely have their powers for their tribes. Definitely, if you have Celtic blood, make sure you take a look at their animal totems too. Or whatever culture you have, there's animals there. So the moose medicine, whenever we see a moose, it is one of the most ancient medicines, and it's very unique. It represents things that are meant to be gentle but powerful. It always represents the north, so it represents our physical world. And when we see moose, it's creating positive forces for us. It's trying to also show us the world of our feelings. So whenever you see a moose, how are you feeling? And know that the moose wants to bring you more positive forces. It activates our guidance, so our psychic abilities, and our pathways to joy. The moose wants us to be joyful. They want us to see our accomplishments. So whenever I see a moose, I know, yes, what I'm going for is happening. So remember that moose is power, guidance, as well as the power of elders, ancestral power. They want us to know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. So a lot of people will use the moose as a drum. And when the moose is played as a drum, it represents feminine energies. It wants us to go into our feelings. The buffalo, a lot of people have buffalo drums as well. And that's one of the more powerful Native American symbols. They represent channeled communication with our ancestors, that our ancestors want us to take time to channel their message. And what the buffalo actually does is it reestablishes our connection and alignment to the earth and also to the celestial worlds. So it connects us to the heavens. So whenever we see a moose, the medicine represents pure, strong, and ancient world connection. It's elevating our consciousness, our concentration, and it wants us to refocus our energies. Let's go into the deer. So whenever we see the deer, it is super important to just like look at it until you know you felt it or you recognized it. Because when the deer comes into play, it represents our security in life. And the deer wants us to know that we do not have to worry, that our financial, our security is in play. So whenever I see the moose, I know I'm safe. Aw, that's cute. Someone's chihuahua is named Moose. I love that. I want a teacup chihuahua so bad. Ugh. So know that whenever, and that there's deep love. The deer represents our love of money, of currency, of our health. So always remember, whenever you see a deer, you're not meant to worry. What have you been worrying about? Let it go and trust. Okay. Let's talk about some of our animal totems. So I want to go more into the goose. So let me see. Oh, my back of my book has a lot of stuff. Okay, I'm going to go with what I'm just going to see. Then I don't have to like keep turning pages. So let's just go down the list I have here. So whenever we see a bear, bears represent intuition. And it means that our intuition is being stimulated. And the bear represents our intuition becoming stronger and clearer. It's time to trust your intuition, to find strength, and to listen to your inner voice. And it also means that we are beginning to sense, to feel, and see what we have not been able to see before. So something is becoming visible. It's the symbol of the subconscious and the need to listen to that inner voice, to initiate potentials, and know that we are awakening. But when we receive that medicine, there is something that we are meant to express. So inner voice represents the bear. The bee. So we're going to see bees. Bees always represent our sexuality, our kundalini energy. That means our whole meridian from our channel coming in and through. It represents that our sexual appeal, our beauty is powerful and it's growing stronger, and that it's important for us to create. So when we see bees, that's the message from the universe that they want you creating something. What have you been thinking about that you're procrastinating? Or if you don't know, just be aware. Be aware. I love that. With the bees, there's something creative. So it's time to be creative in as many ways as possible. Get busy with it, but be careful with how you're using your energy. So if you feel like you're having a creative block, then it's time to step away. Okay, look into the spiritual aspects. Blue jays, I mentioned them. When blue jays come around, their message means to be fearless and resourceful at the same time. That you need to be adaptable to your surroundings, and that your efforts are going to bring you new choices. Of course, these choices are always something new that we haven't thought about, but they also represent new doors opening. They represent our path becoming clearer, and that we don't need to alter our choices. So say you made a choice about something and you see the blue jay, don't change it at that point. It's perfect. Okay. It also represents tying up loose ends, and that you shouldn't be leaving anything dangling, because it means that there is a fear of making the wrong choice. So if you see the blue jay, you aren't making the wrong choice. That's confirmation. You need to trust it. Butterflies, of course, most of us know butterflies represent transformation, but the main message behind it is new beginnings and new birth. It's time to initiate new activities because there's a new gift that's at play. So what is that new gift that's coming about? It also represents that you need to nurture yourself and the things you're working on. Don't ignore the things that bring you joy. Take time for yourself and know that there is also healing happening to your physical body. So it's a sign that your body is trying to rejuvenate and heal you. It also represents a time to lighten up, to look for changes, to manifest something, and to be excited about the transformation because it is bringing you freedom. So the coyote. Now, if you haven't gone to a powwow, there's usually a coyote dressed up. There's usually a bear dancer and a coyote. My dad is the coyote. Coyotes do represent wisdom, so they're not always a bad omen. However, every time I see a coyote, I know I need to beware. The coyote is a teacher. So whenever you see that, that's a teaching spirit, and it's the keeper of magic. It reminds us that we have many possibilities and that we are actually at a crossroads. So coyote and crossroads, and it's time to trust what's right for us. It's teaching us the balance of wisdom and as well as cunning skill. Okay, and it also represents being aware and protective of your energy at that time. So make sure that if you ever see a coyote, there's time to find a balance between work and play. Make sure you're flexible with your time. Things aren't as difficult as they seem, and that we are learning how to look for magic and possibilities. So the blue herons. They're awesome. I got 3 the other day. So whenever we see a blue heron, they represent secret magic. And this is the time that they come out more, so watch for them. I mean, secret magic is at play, that we have strong guardians, and they're alerting us. They want us to be careful with something that we should be watching out for and to take care of. That we need to trust that there's hidden protection around us and that we have a hidden protector because of someone else's energy. It also lets us know that it is a time to focus on establishing our protection, as well as to take extra care of the younger people around us. Okay, so if you have children, kind of take note on them and make sure they're doing okay. We did the deer. Let me see if there's anything I missed out. Oh, the deer represents also the time of good news, to be gentle, and that our inner child is at play. So what is it that the inner child wants? It's also a protector of our emotions. I've been waiting for dragonflies to come out. Oh my gosh. So whenever we have dragonflies, and some of you may see them a lot, the message is that right now, you are a light and that you can shine in powerful ways. That this is the time for you to express your own creative imagination, pay attention to your enterprises, and to follow your light. It means that you have found your spiritual path and that you're on it. And that there is more that you need to look for. You're actually on a spiritual quest. So when you see a dragonfly, the first dragonfly that comes to you this summer, your spiritual quest has started. You're on the right path. And that is really important, that you rely on your perceptions and the power of your light. It also means that your efforts have materialized to some level, and to be discriminating, like be careful with how you're balancing your emotions, and that you need to connect with air and your future. So do not give your power to others. when you see a dragonfly around. They also represent spirits that we love, that have passed on. They're around us. The eagle, like I said, whenever I see an eagle, it represents the grandfather. And the owl is grandmother power. Okay? So the eagle represents our spirit and our vision. It means that our spiritual vision is being heightened. There's healing and there's mysticism around you. And that you are in a time of power. And usually when the eagle comes around, people will be expecting more of you, but you will succeed. It's also the message to follow your vision and to look at things at a new perspective. It represents things that seemed hard or difficult becoming easier and clearer, and that you need to trust in who and what you're becoming. That you need to accept responsibility for who you are and where you are, and that you should not try to be something that you have not become yet, but you are becoming. There's a becoming and something that you're meant to share to the world. Whenever you see a fox, the fox represents that there is magic in the making. So magic is afoot, represents the magic of the world. It's the keeper of magic, healing, there's shape-shifting power, and there's invisibility. Great magic lives within you. So foxes are known as one of the guiding and the teaching spirits, the messenger spirits, bringing us new magic. So you need to try something new, burn a candle, make a wish, stay silent, avoid trouble and problems, let your life become charmed. So whenever you see a fox, make a wish. The hawk. The hawk represents vision and signs. So many signs and visions are around us. We need to keep watching for them. We need to pay attention to signs and know that what is coming our way is what we need to do. Okay? Or what we should not be doing. But normally it's what we need to do. Okay? It also represents a warning of possible trouble with new people that have crossed your path. So if you were out at a family thing or some kind of wedding, and after that you drive home and you see a fox, that's a warning. And you gotta be careful of someone's energy. They're protecting us, especially when it comes into projects and ventures and things you're working on. But hawks usually represent that our perceptions and our clairvoyance, our psychic seeing, is becoming heightened. And this is going to have about a 2-week effect. So you need to trust your perceptions. You need to be ready to grab opportunities because they're coming to you. So make sure you're ready to receive and you're not in a blocked state or in a state of control. And that you have protection around you that represent your path and where you're headed. So a hawk is a protector. Lots of people dream about horses. And the colors of the horse represent the different aspects. So if you see a white horse, it always represents the higher realms. The brown horse or the pintos or anything earthy like that represents the middle world. And the black Arabians or black stallions represent the underworld. So those are also powers in play. So the horse represents movement, and it's a time to explore and find your freedom. You need to break away from things that are constraining you or stressing you. And you have to know that you're in a state of transformation and movement. Progress is happening. Use self-discipline, plan carefully, and allow yourself to move forward. Believe in your efforts. So horses are meant to bring us the sense of power, of renewed energy, of journeys and new balance when we're co-creating with the universe. Whenever I dream of a white horse, I know that I'm being carried. It represents an easier ride. And it also represents a goddess energy. So it's pretty cool. Had to peek over there at your chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Awesome, someone had a woodpecker. Okay. So horses, discover your freedom, believe in it. Hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds. So hummingbirds represent new joy coming into play into your life. So you need to take a look and be ready to receive things that are going to make you joyful, and that there is manifesting that you have been putting out into the universe on its way to you. It represents that your dreams are closer to being fulfilled and that you are experiencing a period of accomplishment. The opportunity is manifesting around you. Time of blessings, new ventures, success. When I get lots of hummingbirds, I always like the casino. It's kind of one of my signs. It also represents renewed health. Okay, so even if you're sitting on your deck and all of a sudden you have a bird feeder and there's always hummingbirds around, tap into that energy and know that that power and that medicine of it, just connecting to your consciousness, is bringing you healing power. It also represents taking advantage of the energy for the next few months. So you're going to get about 2 or 3 months of more positive, uplifting energy, and to appreciate what you have and to live in the present. The owl. I love the owl. So in the native tradition, you're not allowed to, just like an eagle feather, you're not allowed to just put an owl feather on you. The owl feather has to be given to you, and it has to usually be given to you by a grandmother. So whenever you hear owls or see one, a grandmother ancestor is around you. And some owl feathers are good luck and some are bad. So one time I was at the powwow and one of my cousins made a hat and she had some owl feathers in it, and she actually got in trouble. So the older women, the traditional women, they hold the power of the circle. They actually took her hat because they knew that she just made it and put it on, and told her that that was bad luck. And it's a bringer of death is what they believe. Anyway, a couple hours later, my grandma comes up to me and she's camping with me, okay? This is like one of my closest cousins. And my grandma says, here is a feather for your hat, and took it off her hat and gave it to me. And I was like no, like that was like the worst thing you could do. But you still have to honor it, right? And I get that she was maybe teaching my cousin a lesson there or something, but yeah, it's grandmother power. So I love it. The owl always represents the ending of something. So a new beginning is coming, and the power of the crone, okay? So whenever owls are around, they represent spirit contact. There's spirits around you. It's important to tune into your instincts. Don't ignore anything, even if it's a crack in the house. That is spirit contact. to tap into your seeing, your hearing, and feeling. It also represents your medium skills, your mediumship ability in play. Spirit wants to connect with you. Draw some cards or just open a book and see what sentence you get. Or if you can do mediumship, start writing, asking questions, and channel. But it represents prophecy trying to come through guidance and illumination. It also represents that you need to pay attention to your dreams because your ancestors are trying to get through to you when you go to sleep. Remember, owls are night creatures. And it also represents seeing things you haven't seen before. Whenever I hear an owl at night, I know that I have to listen to voices, that spirit is speaking. Okay? So listen. Okay, so owls are awesome. They're one of my favorite spirit contacts. Yeah. Let's go into rabbits. So this is the month. Well, this month and next month, when we see our first rabbit, then it represents our new cycle is beginning. Rabbits represent a 28-day cycle. So if you see a rabbit or a jackrabbit or someone's pet rabbit when you visit them, that means there's a new cycle that has started. Pay attention to the next 28 days and what is manifesting, because something's going to manifest for you. It also represents that if you're unsure of something, to take a break from it. Don't do anything. Just give yourself a break for 28. Oh, someone saw a rabbit yesterday. That's awesome. So you have a new 28-day cycle. Something wants to manifest for you in the next 28 days. So it represents the power of the moon. Okay, that 28-day cycle represents the lunar cycle, and it's for your benefit. So just wait, and you'll see some kind of growth, change, something manifesting within the month. I also like to make a plan. So if I see a rabbit, then I will put a plan into action so that I can shift and see what it is that my plan wants to bring me. Okay, so wait and see what you're meant to receive. So rats and mice, they have a very similar energy, and they actually represent getting organized and get to work. That your hard work will pay off, but you can't slack off right now because there is somebody watching you and they are wanting to see what your outcome is going to be with something. So whenever I see a rat or a mouse, I know that someone's watching me. And you don't want to go out there and look for that person. I always just make sure I place a protection on myself so that I don't have that psychic vampire energy. It also represents things that actually involve you to multitask, and that you need to awaken your instincts to survive. So whenever a rat or a mouse comes around, you know you need to heighten, don't procrastinate, and watch out, because someone's watching you to see how you finish something up. So try not to leave anything undone. So ravens, a lot of times, I don't know, most of you may have seen ravens, but there's a lot of people that don't believe in ravens. Okay, but there's crows and there's ravens. Ravens have a curled wing. So when they're flying, their wings curve and they're more pointed. And they also have more hair here. So they're fuzzier looking. Their calls are different. But to many people, ravens are supernatural. And they only come around when you have and are connected to supernatural power. And I have actually been driving with people in a vehicle. I've seen the raven flying right in front of us, and a couple people in the car did not see it. So whenever you see a raven, ask whoever you're with, do you see it? And you'll know. Okay. So ravens are very sacred. They bring light to darkness. It means that there are doorways opening between the worlds, that things in your life are shape-shifting, and that things are not as they seem. So they also say it's time to take action, and you cannot be waiting on other people. So the main thing is get studious. Don't wait on anyone else. Don't slow down for other people. You need to take the lead. There's magic and enchantment around. There's a magical power that is awakening, trying to find a way to express it through you. So it also represents change for the better. And usually this surprising change will take place within 2 weeks. So the raven's sign is 2 weeks. It also represents to get rid of any fears. Okay, so if you're worried about something, don't be. The raven's telling you you're okay. We have lots of skunks. Oh, so whenever you see a skunk or smell one, boundaries are in play. It's time for you to make sure that your boundaries are where you want them to be, because it represents a warning. And it means that there is a second chance coming to deal with something. So it could be a reoccurring thing, or something that you were, darn it, I wish I did that. Well, this is your second chance. So skunks mean second chance, and that you need to do whatever is necessary to attain that. Okay? It also represents for you to hold on to your things. So don't be getting rid of things. Sometimes when we're thinking about, purchasing a car, all of a sudden you'll drive by and there's a stinky skunk. Don't purchase the car. Okay? It's a warning. Just the timing isn't right. Maybe the car isn't right. So know that it means to hold on to things, wait until something else comes in to help you, and it will give you more advantage. It also represents that you're meant to be at a comfortable speed. So if you're going too fast and you're in too much control, it's telling you to slow down. It also wants you to receive some type of respect. So whenever a skunk comes around, the universe is working with somebody else's energy so that there is mutual respect between you two. Let's go into spiders, because they've been coming around. I don't know if anyone else has been getting spiders, but holy cow, they're really coming in to my place. So spiders always represent a new pattern, and it always means that the divine feminine is creating something new. They're weaving something for you. It also represents breaking illusions and fate. So whenever you see a spider, you are on your destined path, and what you're focusing on is part of it. It also is a symbol for you to make sure that you know your dreams, because spiders represent your dreams coming into reality, and also a time to change your destiny. So there's new creations that will bring balance and success in your life. But you cannot trust what you see. This is what you need to trust what you feel instead. So whenever you see a spider, just know, okay, get out of how I'm seeing things and pay attention to how I'm feeling. It's a reminder for you to be patient, to stop looking for rewards or wasted efforts. It's time to change, and it's going to benefit you. Be straight, be direct, and don't try to get involved with anyone else's troubles right now. Okay? Let's go into the goose, because that was one. So whenever you see a goose around, it represents new realms, New dreams are about to open. New things are manifesting present securities. So that means that anything that you feel insecure about or you're worried about as far as your security lies, there is good energy supporting that. The opportunity will stay in your life for quite a while, so you don't need to rush things or panic, because this energy is bringing you new opportunities to manifest dreams, to maintain balance, and to focus on making every day a day of promise, beauty, and positivity. So don't force or control any energy. It's assigned to flow. Okay? So it means new realms coming your way. The wolf. I like the wolf. So remember, whenever you see a wolf, especially if you're in New Brunswick, because they say we don't have any. And I don't believe that. I have someone else. Yes, I agree. Thank you for that. But if you do see a wolf, know that it is a spirit guide or an ancestor that is in play. So the wolf represents wild energy, wild spirit. It means that there's guidance around you and it's trying to make you alert to changes within your environment. The wolf animal is a teacher and is teaching us how to recognize and listen and to trust our intuition by doing work that connects you to your guardians and your guides. So what is it that your spirit guide is co-creating with you? It represents a family member, as I said, in spirit, and strong communication. So it's important for you to listen or to see what pops into your head. When the wolf comes around, things will just pop in. That's how the guidance comes, and it will bring to you clearer vision. It also means to pay attention to body language, that there's messages in people's body language or undertones. But it's important for you to trust your impressions. Changes are occurring but have not shown themselves yet in the physical world, but they're on their way. To trust your inner guidance and find a new path and take control of your life. There is guidance and protection around you. So whenever the wolf comes about, know that there's guidance and they actually want you to find a new path. So kind of see where you want to adjust yourself. Don't put your energy and focus into something that isn't, you know, as great as it could be. Okay? Did I do the woodpecker? Someone mentioned the woodpecker. Woodpeckers represent rhythm. That's why they make that sound. So whenever you listen to a woodpecker, you will actually be able to connect to the heartbeat of the earth, because that's what it represents. It's a new rhythm at play. It represents elimination of worries, and it represents success to take root in the coming months. So this is going to be 3 months. It also represents the beginning of something new. That focus should be on new plans and new endeavors. So if you have a woodpecker that crosses your path, there's something new that you should be doing that will actually be part of your enterprise or part of your purpose and money-making skills. It also represents that the past will no longer work for you. So sometimes our gifts will be like, okay, you're done with that. Tap into this one and use that. So some things are from the past that worked will no longer work, and it represents a new ability, a new opportunity and rapid growth. Sometimes we will hear bells in nature. So first off, I want to say that with birds is always something new coming, okay? If you ever hear bells in nature, it means that there is celebration coming. Okay. Cats represent, so not your cat, but you know how people always say the black cat crossing your path is bad luck? Well, a black cat crossing your path actually means that there's a friend being untrue. So protection. Okay. Let's see. Dogs represent self-esteem. So I know some of you have some dogs. Now let's see. Who do I have online here? Sandra, you have pugs, right? I love your pugs. I think they're pugs, right? So if a pug represents the life, yes, 4 pugs. Okay, good. So the pugs are very powerful. It represents that you're attentive to close family members, that you have charm, that you're playful by nature, and that you're actually very good with problem solving. It's important for you to change, embrace change quickly and wholeheartedly. Don't be scared of change. And that they remind you that something needs changing. So pug energy is going to keep you busy with things that will change. They're omen. So if you're walking and you're sitting in the park and someone walks by with a pug, the message for pugs is acceptance, ancient wisdom. They represent change and charm, as well as living in the present. So that's probably why they are as nutty as hell, someone said. But they bring in a positive energy. Does anyone else have a type of dog? Let's see. I don't know if I did all of our animals. Let me just check my wheel. Do you know if we talked about all of them? The woodpecker. Oh, the salmon we did. And the beer we need, or the beaver. Okay, so we need otter, beaver, and salmon. So let's go into those. And you know, these are people, like when you see someone and you find out that they're born in February and their animal is an otter, then you understand a little bit of how they work. So but of course, not just the totem, any animals have meaning. So for those that have the otter, oh, the chihuahua, yes, we have to do that, duh. So otters represent messages, and that otters insist us that we need to take time to allow ourselves freedom and the pleasure of relaxing, that we need to let go of daily concerns, and that the power behind the otter is knowing that our abilities are bringing us pleasure and our success and happiness. Whenever the otters come around, they are people that are able to banish the energy of selfishness, or people that are self-centered. They're able to just break that by finding and helping them connect to the purpose that will enhance their lives. So otter people are very powerful. What else did I say I needed to look up? I feel like I've been yapping away. I said otter. What was it? The salmon. So some of you may eat deer. Some of you may eat salmon. When we eat these things too, that medicine goes into us. Oh my gosh, I remember this. Well, the first time I ever learned about eating it as a medicine, I was in my first store, Crystals, Dreams, and Magical Themes, and this guy came in and he had a little bit of blood on his shirt, and he told me he just had badger medicine. And some of the old traditional people will take it without cooking it or anything. They'll just like eat it raw. It was like shocking to me. So those who are salmon represent clear intentions. I know I'm running over. I only got 2 more things to go, and then we'll just keep rolling with this in the group. So salmons represent stabilizing our emotions. They can solve what we're trying to feel or how we should be feeling about something, and they can also free us from feeling things that are bothering us. Salmon people will teach us how to follow our intuition and to allow our instincts to guide us. So they are feelers. They can feel for other people. They also represent courage, detachment, determination, and divination. So those who are salmon would be really good at pulling cards or doing any type of divination. They also represent messages. So they have the ability to receive messages like quick, and it's like they don't even know how it came, but it makes sense. So hidden wisdom comes through for transformation. Okay, let's see, what else is it that I had? One more native one. Otter, wolf, oh, beaver. Let's see what the beaver means. So beaver, and then we'll finish the puppies. Brett was born, my husband, he was born in the beaver capital of Canada. Surrey, BC. They actually used to have the sign, Beaver Capital of Canada. I don't know if they still do. So the beavers are people who are always able to resolve things. So they will teach us how to act on our dreams and how to make them a reality. They also help us to focus on our goals and to work hard to reach them. And what we desire, we can create. So they're good that way. They believe in us. They teach us how to take action, but with balance, to bring construction into our life. It's a sign of good health, and that our family and friends are important right now, and that they are part of our path. But it represents teamwork and planning that needs to happen with others. So remember that they are the ones that will give us that power of obtaining things. And a lot of times it's representing other people that we need to have in our life that helps us attain. Okay, so let's do the Shih Tzu. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let me find it here. Sorry. I have lots. I gotta scroll down. Okay. So. Unless I find the, okay, Shih Tzu. Here it is. Okay. Oh. Shih Tzus remind us that it's always better to act than to react. So they're little stabilizers. I would not have thought that. They also represent not being stubborn, accept change, instead let yourself act now, not later. So that's kind of interesting. They teach what goes around comes around. They want you to focus on your priorities and to realize that drama, when drama is around, to tread carefully. But they are actually spiritual creatures that shine light energy through no matter what we're dealing with. So they're little light bringers. They bring us the energy of control, dignity, generosity, honor, loyalty, playfulness, and power. So that's awesome. Little Shih Tzus are cute. Okay, what do we have? Australian Shepherd. Okay, let me see if I can find, I'm just going to see what I have here showing up. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, the Chihuahua. So the Chihuahua is reminding us that we should follow our heart at all times. It's actually the protector of the heart and leads you the way you will see the easiest way to attain your goals. So that's a good little manifester to have around. They help you with the energy to get the job done, whether it's big or small. Their energy brings in action, decisions, longevity, quirkiness, to stand your ground, and to travel. It says that when you have Chihuahuas, they help you dream and also bring dreams of places you should travel. That's interesting. Do you like to travel? Okay, that would make sense. So pay attention to what do we have? The Shepard Australian mix. Okay, so pay attention to what places you dream of. Those are places you're meant to visit. You have a Chihuahua. I'm definitely getting one. Okay, so the Shepherd. Oh my gosh, it's saying that the Shepherd shares a similar power as the Falcon, telling you to be alert to small changes around you. So most of the changes that come will be small but many, okay? It also tells you that you must keep close eyes on those you care for and to be of assistance at all times, which I believe you already are. So that makes sense. It represents guardians of mortality and of the earth spirit, and that they are involved in bringing spiritual quests. So that's really good. Some of their energies are alertness, confidence, curiosity, friendships, law. So they're good for law. I guess a lot of people use them for police dogs, so that would make sense. And they bring strength and tranquility. Let's see. And then the Australian part I want to find. Wow. Wow. Okay, so the Australian part, explore. They want you to explore the world. And it says that they are actually connected to the water world, water creature. Powerful medicine. Their key word is observation. So pay attention to the world around you and that things are moving forward in your current projects. So you have energy that will back that up, but it does involve divine timing. That's awesome. Okay, is there any other animal that you want to know about? Let me see what else I have, if there's anything. I'm going to keep posting stuff. So if you see things, squirrels, let's see what the squirrel represents. I know that the squirrel represents that right now you're supposed to be focusing on the information as it comes. So whenever squirrels come around, it means get busy. There's lots to do, and they're popping in those ideas for you. But through the month, let's share what we see as far as animals and birds and get into it. Yeah, so the squirrels represent to be astute on your path right now. That there is something important in play that the spirits want you to manifest. Brett said to gather your nuts. My gosh. Have a man in the room, eh? And that's what you get. I'm just kidding. Cows. So whenever we see cows driving and there they are, it represents that right now your path is about reaching a goal. So make sure that you're focusing on your goals. That's important. Let's see. The horses we did. Oh, you have a red squirrel? So is it like in your yard or an actual pet? Wow, that's awesome. Give them some peanuts. Okay, so before I go, we're done here. I could go on forever. And we'll do this through the month. I'm going to keep posting animals and their meaning so you can put them in your book and see what comes around you. So even though you're not driving around too much, look out your window, see what animals cross your screen when you're watching a movie. I'm going to pull an power animal card. I'm using this deck. It's a really good one. This is Stephen Farmer. And I never ever read the book. It's boring for me. But Stephen Farmer, I don't know if you know this, but he actually created this deck when he was married to Doreen Virtue. And he was her second husband, I think. But they got into it. They fought a lot. She was trying to get him more involved with stuff. But he did a really good job on these cards. So I do like him. I do like him. Let's see what we get for the month. The whale, soul's path. Honor your soul's purpose. How awesome is that? And really, that's what this month is about. Honoring ourselves. And we have to honor ourselves this month. That's what's going to keep us protected against all the stuff that's out there. And also, you know, our soul purpose right now is connecting to new things that will make us more self-sufficient in our life. So make sure you think about those ideas that come to you that will help you be more self-sufficient. Okay. If you pulled a blank, if you pulled it today, I wouldn't pull it. Pull it tomorrow and see what you get. So when you did the numbers last month and we put that blank on there, remember that means you're just not meant to know right now. To just be present with the energy and then pull a blank or pull another number the next day. And so those who didn't listen to last class, it's posted on the page and do it. Make up your little Pythagorean number divination because there's messages behind there. Okay, and keep posting on the page what animals you see and we'll have some fun learning more about them, okay? Some birds I don't even know, but if you describe them, oh, it's got a red wing underneath when it opens, I can usually figure out what you're talking about. Okay, so with that, have a great night. I hope you learned some new stuff about the nature spirits and know that they're always giving us medicine. Okay, so take care. Good to see you. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.